Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. My name is Anna and I live in Seattle, Washington, and in my free time when I'm not working or playing with my baby, I love to do fiber arts. I like to knit and spin and sew and learn new things and make clothes and fibery things and homewares and all that. So that is what I like to talk about on my channel. I talk about the projects that I'm working on and what I finished recently and occasionally what I'm planning to work on next. And that's what we're going to do today. So it's only been a couple weeks since I talked to you last. My June video was a little bit late, but I'm trying to stay on top of it. So I've got July for you today. And we've got a lot of spinning, a little bit of sewing, and a little bit of knitting. And I'm excited to show you what I've got. So I only have one finished knitting object, and I have just the one sewing object, maybe? I think just the one. No, the other one. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little disorganized. Let me see if I can find that other one, by the way. Okay, here it is. Okay. So I've got one finished knitting project, two finished sewing projects, and then some works in progress, some acquisitions, and some spinning I want to show you because July was Tour de Fleece, and so I spent a lot of time spinning and really enjoyed it, and so I'm going to show you what I made. So we will start with our finished objects. This is my Concha top by Caledonia Dreaming. I will put it on for you, or I'll put some b-roll of me wearing it here so you can see what it looks like, but it is a 20 stitch gauge summer top with this slip stitch detail on the body and then this really beautiful crocheted lace trim on the straps and the neckline. And it turned out very cute. I'm pretty happy with it. I will say my tension, so I knit this in 3 strands of a cotton yarn that I got on a cone. So it's just 100% cotton, and it ended up fairly quickly. I think this one, when I went back and logged my finished project, it took me about a month, which is fine because I was working on other things in that time. And it was relatively straightforward. I'm not sure that I love the fit. I don't know if I wish it was a little bit longer or if it had a different trim on the bottom. So around the edges, it has this nice crocheted lace. And on the bottom, it just, because it's bottom up, it just has this garter stitch, which has a tendency to flip. And I think it could be, like, it would be possible to put the lace on the bottom. So I'm not sure why I didn't just do like a normal cast on and then do the lace on the bottom, but it's fine. And then the other thing is that the lace has a tendency to flip. So when I saw that in other people's projects, this is not like a super well-known pattern. There aren't a lot of projects on Ravelry, but I liked it and I wanted to give it a try. I always like to support designers I haven't tried before. I do knit a lot of petite knit, but I do also try to knit from and support smaller designers, which is sometimes risky, but sometimes worth it, usually worth it. And I noticed that a lot of people were having this flippy thing on their lace edge. So I knit the body with 3 strands held together, and then for the edging, I just did 2 strands of my cotton yarn together, and I'll show you. This is the yarn. It's like basically just threads of cotton held together, and 1 strand is actually 3 of these little threads held together. That's how it comes on the cone. So I held it double for the body and then triple, double for the edging and triple for the body. The body of the sweater I knit on 4mm needles, and the edging I crocheted on a 2.75mm hook just because I wanted it to be, I don't know, I just felt like that was a good compromise, and I like how the edging turned out. It was kind of time consuming, but just I think partially because the yarn is quite splitty because it's just strands of cotton held together. But it turned out really nice, and I have blocked the body of this but not with the trim on. So I think I'm going to give it another full wet block and pin out the trim to get it to lay a little bit more flat so that it's more like this. But I think it's very cute. I really like the effect with the scallops. It's very pretty. I guess my other complaint about this pattern is that it's not really, it's just like a nitpicky thing, is that so there's this slip stitch detail throughout the body, and then when you do the straps, it's not the same on any of the straps. So the back, which this is a square neck, the square neck is the front, and then it's rounded in the back. You can kind of see how like this back strap, there's just 1 strand of the slip stitches going up, and then this back strap there are 2, and then on the front strap there's 1 going up, but it doesn't quite line up with the back, and then this front strap there's also only 1 And I double checked all my counting and that wasn't the problem. So it's just the way that the pattern was designed. I thought maybe it would be better to just stop doing the slip stitches, but it does actually add some integrity to the strap and keep it from stretching out too much. So that's a complaint. I just think I wish it had been that the designer had paid a little bit more attention to that. And then the only other thing is that I feel like the armholes of this are quite high, especially with the trim on them. They're pretty high up in my armhole. I think it could have used like, I don't know, another centimeter maybe of space between the armhole and the strap, or maybe I just needed to knit the straps a little bit longer and that would have helped. I'm wondering if it will stretch with time. And when I block this again, I may just like really try and stretch out the straps. But again, because there's that slip stitch detail in these, I don't think they're going to stretch very much. So that's my other thing, is I think you could do the straps. I knit them like exactly to the length that's specified in the pattern. I think they could use like 1 or 2 more centimeters and they would be perfect. So that is my finished top. It's cute. I don't know how much I'm going to wear it, but I do try to knit at least one summer top a year, and I don't super often wear them, but they're fun and cute. And I'm planning to wear this to Flock Fiber Festival this upcoming weekend. So if you see someone wearing this top in this color, it might be me, and you can stop me and say hello if you're at the festival. I do have a couple more ends to weave in, but other than that, it is done. So I'm pretty happy with this. It was a good project, and yeah, I'm not sure I would like, I don't know. It was fine. It is what it is. It's not like the most beautiful piece I've ever made and the most refined, but it's cute and it's a nice, like, fancier summer top for me. So that is my Concha by Caledonia Dreaming, and that is my only finished knitting object. I have 2 finished sewing projects which we can talk about really quick. One is this. This is a Honey Girl tank. So the Honey Girl tee is a pattern from Paradise Patterns. I bought it earlier this year and I've made 3 versions of the t-shirt. I have 2 long sleeves and 1 short sleeve version of the t-shirt. And then the pattern designer, her name is Sana. She just released an expansion pack for the Honey Girl tee that does a tank top version and a boat neck version. And I really liked it. And I had a little bit of this brown pointel left over. I made my a long sleeve brown t-shirt in this. And then I had enough left over that I could squeak the tank top out of it. And it was like less than a yard of fabric needed, and it was super easy to sew. So I went for the boat neck tank version, and I think it's really, really cute. The other thing is that for my t-shirts that I have already, I made the size D, and for the tank, I sized up to the size E, and I do like a little bit more of a relaxed fit in this one. So I think if I make more Honey Girls, I might keep the size E, which is just it gives me a little bit more ease, especially across the bust. So yeah, this is my tank. I'm not sure how well you can see this pointel, but it's really pretty. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's got ribbing and floral pointel. And when I do, the pattern, the Honey Girl pattern is written to just use your regular sewing machine with a zigzag stitch only. But I've made enough of these now that I use my serger for the side seams, and I use my walking foot and a double stitch needle to do the edging, which I think just gives it more of a polished kind of professional finish. Here, I actually have the first Honey Girl I made, which is this t-shirt. I made this maybe in like March or April, I think. Yeah, it was April because it was right before Me Made May. So this is my first t-shirt that I made, and you can see on the collar how it's finished with a zigzag, and on the sleeves and everything as well. And then this is finished with the twin stitch needle. I just think it looks a little bit more professional, and I really like the way it looks, and it's still very stretchy. So yeah, that's just kind of comparing the finish. I like the twin stitch needle. So if you are going to start, I would recommend, if you are going to start knitting a lot more or sewing a lot more with knits, to invest in a twin stitch needle. They're not very expensive. They're like $8. Mine actually broke in the process of making this. When I was like, I don't know, 3 inches from being done with the hem, my twin stitch needle broke. And so I ordered myself a new one on Amazon, which is not my favorite place, but RIP Joann's. I can't just like run out and go get a new needle from a sewing machine store. So I got one on Amazon. I think it was like $8. So very relatively low cost. And I think it really does elevate the finish quite a lot. And I find that I'm using my twin stitch needle a lot. Like I had to hem a t-shirt, like a store-bought ready-to-wear t-shirt. I had to hem it, and I used it for that. And then I'm going to do some more knit sewing for my daughter, and she also has a couple, like a bunch of, sorry, my hair is looking a little wonky today, but my daughter, this is kind of a tangent, but my daughter has a lot of her clothes are hand-me-downs, which is great because I try to be, sustainable with my clothing and her clothing, and they grow out of things so quickly that I'm perfectly happy to put her in hand-me-downs. There's nothing wrong with the clothes. They've just been worn before. But a lot of the stuff she received is like the bodysuits that snap on the bottom, and she's a year and a half now and very active, and I just prefer, now that she's older and moving around, I just prefer to put her in like a regular t-shirt. It makes it easier when I'm changing her diaper to not have to do the snaps and do the pants. And then also, I think it looks cuter. Like, she's old enough now that I don't think it looks as cute when her shirts are tucked into her pants, which you have to do with the bodysuit. So I think I'm going to just start, like, take a bunch of her, anything that she has that's like 12 to 18 or 18 to 24. I'm just going to chop the snap part off the bottom and hem it, and I will use my double stitch needle for that, and you will probably not even be able to tell that it was hemmed. So that's my plan. But yes, anyway, all that to say, if you sew with knits at all, I would definitely recommend, one, a walking foot, which helps. So on a sewing machine, this is like also another weird tangent, which you can ignore and fast forward if you want. But on a sewing machine, the feed dogs on the bottom are what move the fabric along. And then the presser foot like holds the fabric down on the top. But sometimes when you're sewing with knits, the feed dogs will move the bottom fabric, but the top fabric will stay stuck. And so it can get kind of like skewed. And so, or like just stretched, especially a ribbed fabric. And so the walking foot is like moves on the top presser foot, and so that the fabric kind of like feeds more evenly through. And I find it makes a huge difference on my hems, for them not getting like stretched and like getting a weird flare at the bottom. So those are my two recommendations for sewing knits as someone who's been sewing knits for all of 4 months. But I feel like I've been pretty successful. So yes, I use the walking foot mostly just for hems and finishing. I don't really use it for seams, but that's mostly because I just do my seams on a serger. I don't even really use, like you can see, maybe you can see, the hems on this, there's no, or the seams, the side seams are just serged. There's no like machine sewn, which is very common on ready to wear knit garments as well, because it's just faster and easier to piece that way. So yes, that is my finished object number 1, my really cute boat neck pointelle top. Would definitely recommend the Honey Girl expansion. It's really cute. And then my other finished object is a self-drafted pajama set. So I have a vintage nightgown that I bought last year, and I love it. I love the fit of it. I love like the 100% cotton. It's really sheer. It's great for summer. I also sometimes depending on where I am in my cycle, I can get really sweaty at night. And having that really, really lightweight layer is very comfortable. But I really like the fit of it. And I was like, oh, and one day I was just wearing it. I was like, oh, this would be a really cute top and short set. So I drafted a pattern, and I have this very cute, and I'll put a picture of me wearing it or a video so you can kind of see what it looks like in action. But it's a really cute floaty pajama tank with buttons on the yoke and then a little ruffle on the hem. And a coordinating pair of shorts that also have, I can also never tell which is the front and back of these. Okay, this is the back. Yeah. A coordinating pair of shorts that also have a ruffle, and they kind of go up. They have like that, what is it called? It's like a dolphin hem on the side with a ruffle. There's no pockets or anything in these just because they're pajamas. I didn't think they needed pockets. And they are really, really cute. This fabric, you probably have seen if you've been a viewer of my channel for any number of, for a while now, you probably recognize this fabric. I got this fabric, like a bolt of this fabric, like a huge roll of this fabric at a thrift store in California like 2 years ago at my mom's. And I use it all the time for toiles because I have so much of it and it's so lightweight. I use it a lot if I'm just like testing a pattern. And because it's so lightweight, I thought it would be perfect for these pajamas because again, it's super breathable, super floaty. I think it's cotton. I don't actually know. But by the way it behaves, it could be a cotton poly blend, but I think it's cotton. It's like a cotton lawn. It's very light. It's very comfy. And it worked perfectly for this pattern. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. I think it's so cute. And I am interested, if other people are interested in like, I would love to learn how to like draft and grade patterns, sewing patterns. I'm not trying to like pursue it as a job, but it's something that I'm interested in. I think, and this is another tangent that we're going to go on, but one of my favorite things about fiber arts is that there's always like a new skill you can learn. Like once you master knitting, there's like so many things in knitting you can master. Like you can do color work and cabled and lace, and there's all these new skills you can learn. And then you can like spin, and you can learn about how yarn is constructed, and that's a new skill you can learn. And you can sew and like follow a pattern is great, but then you can learn about like how the garments are construction and different construction methods. And then like I think for me it would be fun, and it's just something I just like to learn things. It would be cool for me to learn more about pattern drafting and grading. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and if no one wants the pattern, that's fine, and it'll just exist in the world for me or my friends, but I think it would be fun. And so it's a challenge that I want to take on and do for myself and learn a new skill, and maybe someone else can enjoy it too in the future. So but I want to make another sample of this, all that to say, because there's a couple things about it I would tweak. And I think for my next sample, I want to do a double gauze, which is like a really, really thin, lightweight cotton, but like a solid color. That's my plan for my next sample. So I need to get some fabric. But yes, that is my little self-drafted pajama set. I think it's so cute. Some features of it is that it has a double-lined yoke in the back. I also did not, and then as a double-lined yoke in the back, it has, these are functional buttons on the front, which is also double-lined. The straps, the armholes are all finished with bias binding, so they're fully finished. And then the ruffle on the bottom, which I really like this feature, is double folded. So there's no seam here on the bottom. It's just a really thick piece of fabric that is sewn to the inside of the top. And then there's like all sorts of nice finishing details with the edge stitching here, and on the back yoke there's edge stitching. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, especially for a first sample. I made my straps a little bit too short, so the armhole is a little bit too high. I need to adjust that. And then I want to kind of rework this front facing. The original top that I kind of based this off of uses a lace trim for the front yoke and this arm straps. But I wanted to be able to do it with just one fabric. And so because of the way that that is, the construction is different. It's not double lined, it's just the lace trim, and then the button placket is put on a different way. But I'm not super happy with the way this turned. I mean, it's fine, but I want to kind of improve upon it. So that's something I'm planning to do as well on my next version. So yes, that is my adventure in self-drafting. And then my shorts, these are kind of loosely based on the shorts pattern that I have been making for over a year now, that I like heavily modified from a different shorts pattern, but I've made quite a few adjustments to it now with the curved hem, and I think I'm going to change the rise on these. I think it's like about an inch too high, so I want to lower that. The curved hem, the ruffles, there's no pockets in this. If I was to make this into a pattern, I probably would include pockets as an option, but I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm really happy with this, and I want to at least make myself another pair of pajamas, because I've been wearing these like every night since I made them, and I've washed them like 3 times already, and I love them, and they're so cute and so flowy and very feminine and fun. And honestly, I think this would just be a really cute top, not even for a pajama. So yes, that is my little pajama set, which I think I thought of a name for, and now I've forgotten what I was going to call it. But anyway, that is my little pajama set. So I don't know, if you're interested in making it or testing it at some point, let me know if it's cute to you and you're interested in trying it or whatever. I could use some encouragement, because it's going to be quite a time commitment and a resource commitment as well for me to figure out how to draft. Like there's some courses I could take online, but no matter what, I'm going to have to purchase a subscription to Adobe Illustrator, which I've used before for work, and I really like working in Illustrator. It's just kind of an expensive software. So I need to just like commit to it and do it, because I really want to, and I think it's a cool skill to learn, but it's like a time and resource commitment that I just need to go for. So yes, that is my sewing finished object number 2. Okay, back to the knitting. I will show you my works in progress. First one, maybe this is the less exciting of the two, is my Color Brick Road blanket. I picked it back up again. We went on a big road trip in July, and I was inspired by my lovely friend Inga from Knitting Traditions. She always knits on blankets when she's on road trips, and I was like, that is so smart. So I knit on my blanket while I was on my road trip, and I almost finished one more strip of the blanket. I have 2 more colors to add on this end, and then I will be finished with my next strip. So if you have not seen this before, this is a pattern from Pearl Soho, and it is just a like It's like a jelly roll quilt, but in blanket form. And I'm doing all these different colors of blues and greens and some white and beige. And the yarn I'm using is Lamb's Pride worsted, which is 85% wool and 15% mohair. My mom found a bunch of single skeins of this yarn at a thrift store, and she bought them because she couldn't resist and she didn't know what she was going to do with them. So she gave them to me, and I figured I would make a blanket with them. So I am more than halfway through this blanket now. I've calculated that I think I have enough yarn to do 4 more strips. Right now I have 5, so I'm a little bit more than halfway, and the measurements are that if I do 4 more, then this will end up being about 30 inches wide, which for visualization, grab a measuring tape, it will be about this wide. So definitely enough for one person. I think I would really realistically like it to be like 36 inches wide, but I just don't think I have enough yarn for that. So my plan is, and then lengthwise, it's as tall as me, maybe a little bit longer. So I would say like probably 65 inches long. So my plan is when I block this, because this hasn't been blocked at all, I'm going to like stretch the life out of it to widthwise to see if I can get some more width in it. Because I don't mind if it shrinks up a little bit lengthwise. It doesn't really need to be longer than me. But I would love for it to be maybe a smidge wider. So that's my plan. But yes, it's turning out really cute. Let me see. I'm going to stand up back here and you can see it. Can you see it? It's cute, right? I think it's cute. It's fun. It's like kind of crazy for me. It's not really crazy. It's solid colors, but here it is. My blankie. All the way down. So yeah, it'll be nice when it's done. I'm hoping, when I first cast this on, I was originally hoping to have it done by October because I cast it on in October of last year. Realistically, I don't think I'm going to get it done by October, but I would love to finish it by the end of the year. I think it's Marlene, my friend Marlene from Marlene's Knits, is doing a challenge for herself to not bring any 2023 whips into 2024 whips into 2026. Or maybe she did that last year. I don't remember. Someone whose videos I watch was like, we're not bringing any of the year before whips into the next year. And I would like to do that with this blanket. Each little strip is 15 stitches wide, and then 30 garter bumps, so 60 rows long. And it takes me about an hour to do one. So, I mean, there are 11 colors and I need to do 44, 45, 46 more blocks. So, I mean, if I did one a day, I could finish this pretty quickly. I think that's kind of unrealistic. So maybe if I can try to do 1 a week or 2 a week, then I can get it done in a reasonable amount of time. But I would like to finish this by the end of the year. I don't have any more road trips coming up, but sometimes it's nice to just have this to knit on. So yeah, that's my plan. I want to finish this hopefully soon. This is the first time I've ever knit like a full-size human blanket. I've knit several baby blankets. And I actually did knit like a really, really big blanket for my niece in 2019. I'll put a picture of me with it because it was huge. It was actually like an adult size blanket. But this is the first time I've knit like an adult size blanket that will live at my house. So here it is. It's very cute. It's very fun. It's a little goofy goof, but it'll be cozy when it's done. So I knit almost another strip on that. And then my other work in progress that I've been actively working on is my Esther jacket, which I picked back up. Here she is in all her glory. I cast this on in like April, and then I'd made some really good progress through May, and then I had to rip back because my colors were wonky. And I finally picked it back up again in, what month was last month? July. And I've made some good progress. I think you can kind of tell where I picked it back up because it's been wet blocked, and oh no, is there a line on this? I think it's fine. Where's the little end? There's a little end where I joined my skein. Okay, it's right here. So I've done probably like this. This is my end. Can you see that moving? So like a good 6-7 inches in the last month. And the color match is much better than where we were before. And I'm on the bottom hem now. So working away on that. I'm having such a hard time making my ribbing look nice. And it's really bothering me. And see, this is my bottom hem ribbing. The body of this is knit on a 4mm needle, and I started doing the hem on a 4.5 and it just didn't look good. So I went down to a 4mm needle and it still doesn't look great, and I'm really annoyed about it. I'm having a really hard time with my ribbing. I don't know why. I mean, I knit continental, so it probably has to do something with the way that I'm knitting, but I'm trying to I'm doing like reverse purls where you wrap the yarn the wrong way to tighten them up, and I'm trying all sorts of things to make my ribbing look nice, and it doesn't, and it's frustrating, but I think I'm just gonna have to really tug on it when I block. I don't know. If any of you have solutions for how to make ribbing look more tidy, please let me know, because this yarn is, or this cardigan is knit with sweater that I can't speak. This cardigan is knit with yarn that I spun and a fleece that I washed and prepped. And so it's very special to me, and I want it to look beautiful, and it does look beautiful, and no one's going to tell me that my ribbing looks ugly, but it's going to bother me. So, and I have to do all the button bands in knit flat rib. And so if anyone has suggestions on how to make flat ribbing look nice, I need to watch some YouTube videos or something to try and make it just, I don't know why I have such a hard time with knitting flat. Don't tell me to do twisted rib. I hate twisted rib. It hurts my hands really bad, and I don't like the look of it. So regular knit one purl one ribbing, if you have any tricks to make it look cute, help, because it looks bad and I'm sad, and I don't want to have to re-knit this a million times. So, but anyway, this is my Esther jacket. I think it's beautiful, and I want it to be beautiful, and hopefully it will be. So once I finish the bottom ribbing, I just have the sleeves to go and the trim, and I'm going to finish this blanket is knit on 5mm needles, and this cardigan is knit on 5mm needles, and I'm currently using my 16-inch circular 5mm needle to knit the blanket. So I'm going to finish the row of this blanket, and then I will use this needle to do my sleeves. So that is the plan for that. But yes, it's beautiful. So pull it up close so you can see the textures. Very cute. The yarn is nice. I did over ply this yarn. It's like a little bit more tightly plied than I wish it was, but that's okay. And it's so pretty. The yarn has so much halo to it. I'm really happy with how the yarn turned out. You can even see when I washed this the first time, these ends got quite felty and fuzzy, and lofty and delicious. So it's going to be so warm and so beautiful. Can you kind of see? I don't think you can really see the halo on this yarn, but it is fuzzy. I love it. I'm really happy with it. I just want my ribbing to look cute. So that's where we're at on that. I haven't really touched my pillow cover. I'm working on the honey pillow by Petite Knit. I haven't really made any progress on that. So yeah, that's where I'm at on knitting. And I only have that much because I spent so much time this month spinning. So I already showed you this fun skein last month. And this is I have 3 more skeins to show you. So this one is my most recently finished one. I don't remember the name of the farm. I will put a picture of the label here so you can see. But I bought this at Fiber Fusion Northwest couple at the beginning of June. And the farmer, or the woman who dyes the yarn, I was talking to her, and she said she just does one of a kind colorways. And so this is not a color you can buy again, but I think it's really beautiful. For this yarn, I split the braid right down the middle and just spun end to end, and then plied like with like. So it's a much more gradual color change. There's not as much, if you compare the craziness of this skein, this is much more subdued. But I really love the color combination, the warm pinks and oranges. I think it turned out really beautiful. I'll even open it up for you to see how it turned out. I think it turned out really pretty. I like the colors a lot. And it's a really nice, probably sport weight. The spinning is relatively consistent. There's some places where it's a little bit inconsistent, but all in all, it's very cute and very pretty. And I want to use this in some color work with this as the contrast color. So I think I might do, well, this might not be thick enough, but I think it would be fun to do the Lumi pullover by Sari Nordland maybe. So yeah, that's my plan for this, is that I want to do it in some color work at some point. So yes. Oh, and the fiber on this is Cormo, which is a really beautiful, it's a Corriedale and Merino cross. I really like Corriedale wool. It's really hardy, and then it has it has the hardiness of Corriedale and the softness of Merino. Turned out really, really, really pretty, and I'm very happy with this skein. I'm having trouble, there we go, getting back into a skein. And I think I have, before washing, I had just about 300 yards. So I probably shrunk up maybe like 20%. So it's like a true DK. I would say probably have like 270 yards of this. So it turned out super gorgeous. You can definitely see that it's way less airy and way lighter weight than this one, which I think I have probably about 220 yards of this one. So those are my fun skeins from Tour de Fleece. And then I have these two skeins as well. So these are the same fiber as this, but with dyed. So these two are the same fiber from the same sheep. When I was processing the wool, I was at my mom's and we borrowed a friend's drum carder. And I thought it would be cool to like blend some colored fiber together and then spin it. So these are the same sheep breed. This is on that kind of gray brown base, and then this is on a white base. And you can kind of see, and they're dyed the same. I dyed them at the same time, but you can see the way that the different bases picked up the color. So this one's definitely more dark and moody, and this one's a little bit brighter. So yeah, I spun these up as narrow, like as thin as I could, and then chain plied them. So it's a 3-ply. It's not as fine as I wanted. It's probably like a sport to DK, but I want to knit socks with this. I want to do handspun socks. So I can't decide if I want to do the light but I only have enough to make a pair of socks with the two of them together. So I'm probably going to do one for the like body of the sock, the main part of the sock, and then one for the heels, cuffs, and toes. And I'm not sure which way I want to do it. If I want this to be the main and then this the heels, cuffs, and toes, or the other way around. I don't know, but I think these are going to be my last sock cast on of the year. So yeah, there are my little handspun skeins. They're so pretty. I really like them. I kind of like the dark one more. Probably does not surprise anyone, but I think I do like the dark one more. And then the colors blended in here, there's like a light blue, a dark blue, a green, and a peach. And those colors kind of blended together. You can see a flash of the peach right here. It was just an experiment, but it was really fun. I like the spin on this a lot. It's very, very thin, very consistent. I did a good job with this one. So yeah, these are going to be handspun socks at some point. I don't know. They sometimes look really similar and then sometimes look really, really different. So hold on, let me put them against my white shirt. You can maybe see. Yeah. So yes, this is all that I was able to spin during Tour de Fleece. I missed like the first 3 days and the last 3 days of the tour. So, but this is pretty good. This is probably like 300 and a little bit grams of yarn spun up in just a couple weeks. That's really good. So yes, those are my tour spins. Yeah, I don't really have plans for this one. I might make a hat, or maybe I'll make something for my daughter in this skein. And then this I do want to use in some color work. And these are gonna be socks. So yes, that is my spinny spins. I have been like kind of doing some planning for fall, and I think I'm gonna do another sweater spin. I really want to do a color work sweater with my handspun yarn. And I think I've decided that I'm going to do the Harriet sweater by Lina Holmesamse. It is a beautiful sweater. I will put a picture of it here. And I actually think I'm going to do a very similar color combination to this sweater. I'm going to do a chocolate brown main color and then like a light contrast. And I have this 100% merino, a kilogram of 100% merino fleece that I bought from World of Wool like this time last year, and I've done a sample of it and I really like the way that it looks. It's very matte. That's the only thing, is it's not super shiny but it's very matte, but it's really round and plump and fluffy and nice. It's kind of annoying to spin, but I think it would be really nice in the Harriet sweater. And then I think I could probably spin I already have solids that would work for the color work. So that's one thing that I want to do. I just think that sweater is beautiful. It has so much positive ease. Oh my gosh, that pattern has like 40 centimeters of positive ease written into it. I am not going to make mine with that. I think I found my like sweet spot for oversized sweater circumference is about 116 centimeters, which is 45 inches. And so that gives me about 10 inches of positive ease. So that's what, 25 centimeters positive ease. That's kind of like my sweet spot for oversized sweaters. So that's what I'm going to go for on this, which will also mean that I won't have to spin quite as much yarn. I'm also excited to make the pattern because it has the like English tailoring is what, I think that's what they call it. The shoulder where you like knit the front or knit the back and then pick up the sleeve stitches and the front stitches and do them with increases. I haven't done that construction before and I'm really excited to do that construction. So that will be fun. So that's one thing I really want to make this fall. And then I have this yarn. So my original plan was that I wanted to do a colorwork sweater with a solid color body and then a hand spun motif. And I was originally thinking the Kerr sweater from the Crayabea because I was really inspired by Chelsea's Kerr sweater, Chelsea from True Lane Knits. She has this beautiful Kerr sweater that she knit with hand spun contrast, but I just don't know that I love the motif on that sweater. So I was thinking maybe the Luma pullover. I don't know. But I would use this, and then I think I think I talked about this last month. I have the Frost DK, which I would probably use as the main color. I'm torn between either doing that or another thing that I want to knit that I've been thinking about for months now, and I think it's the right time, is to knit the Olga jacket or Olga cardigan from Petite Knit, which is it's just a striped cardigan. But I'm really, really drawn to it. And I started knitting in 2023, the Anemone sweater by Marita Clemens, which is a beautiful, beautiful sweater. It's all over colorwork, beautiful florals. And I got to the yoke and then I just like really stalled out on it. The technique I was using, I was just doing like normal catching my floats. And I really think that pattern would be better suited to a technique like ladderback jacquard, which like just manages the floats a little bit better. And I just don't, there's some things in the pattern that I don't love. And so I think I'm going to frog that back and then use that yarn to make the Olga jacket. But I'm not sure if I want to use the same white yarn that I was using in that version or if I want to use my Frost DK, because the yarn that I was using in my Anemone sweater, the main color, the white, is like a reclaimed yarn. It was a sweater that I bought at the thrift store and unraveled, and it's a worsted spun yarn. It doesn't have a lot of stretch or like puffiness to it. And then the yellow color that I'm using is a Briggs & Little yarn. It's their Regal, which is their DK weight yarn, in the color Yellow WO. And that yarn is very round, very bouncy, super, super woolen spun. I think I said woolen for the white. I meant worsted for the white and woolen for the yellow. And so they don't quite have the same amount of roundness. And I'm wondering if it would look weird in a knitted fabric with stripes. So I need to swatch and see if I like the Frost DK with the Briggs & Little or if the yarn that I'm already using is okay. The only thing about the Frost is that it does have that kind of like brown marley in it, and I'm not sure how that would look with the yellow. So I need to do some swatching, I need to do some deciding, but I really want to finish this cardigan before I cast on another big sweater project. The last thing that I am going to cast on here pretty soon when I finish up the whips that I've got going is the fern pants. My daughter is having a little girl in November, and I'm going to make her the fern, or maybe it's the fern leggings, which is a pattern from Knitting for Olive. They're these really beautiful lace pants. I'm going to knit those for her in this. I will put a picture of this yarn from Knit Picks. It's a superwash merino nylon. So I think it's not Swish, it's a different one, but I will put a picture of it here so you know what I'm talking about, in this kind of like charcoal-y gray. So that's another thing that I need to knit. And then, I need to finally cast on my Double Trouble Kids jacket for my daughter Caroline to wear this winter. I need to do that also before it gets too cold. So I have a lot of plans ahead of me. I have a lot of sewing and knitting and spinning to do, and I need to just get to it. So I better stop yapping so I can get back to my crafts. Yeah, that's it for me for now. If you are in Seattle this upcoming weekend, the first full weekend or the second week of August, and you see me at Flock Fiber Festival, please stop me and say hello. I always love meeting friends at Flock. I will probably be there on Saturday in the morning with my mother. This is the third year of Flock and the third year that my mom has come up to go to the festival with me, so that's really exciting. But if you see us, say hi. I will be wearing my concha and say hello. I would love to see what you bought and what you're scoping out. I'm not sure what I'm going to get yet. I think I'm probably just going to go for fiber and maybe a sock yarn. Or maybe something to knit a cute sweater for Caroline. She needs a new fall sweater. So I need to do some planning for Flock, but mostly I'm just going to have fun because I like to look and squeeze the yarn and see friends and have a great time. So if you see me, please say hello. I would love to meet you and chat with you and I love to see what other people are buying as well. So yes, that is it for me. Beyond that, just gonna get back to my crafts. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the love on my last video. It kind of like blew up for some reason. I don't know, but I feel like we got some new friendly faces here and lots of lovely comments. So thank you for that. Please subscribe if you're new. It'd be great to have you come back, and give the video a thumbs up if you can. And I will see you again very soon. Bye.